I'm here with the smartest man in hip hop, man. How you feeling, first of all?
I feel good, man.
So congratulations on the success of this film, man.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about getting into the character. Again, your acting is incredible in this film, so talk about just getting into the character.
What I did was I met with Antoine, like Antoine Fuqua. He sent for me to come down and talk to him about the character in this project. And when we was just going over it, we was actually in a boxing gym in downtown Manhattan because Jake and him, they were both training together to make the communications better. Like Antoine was actually in the gym working out with him.
Oh, wow.
You know, and it just left camaraderie between him and Jake to the point that their communication was on some next level because they've been there doing all the work together. And what was really smart is they taught Jake the combinations while training.
Wow.
So he knew it. Like it was easy for him to execute it because he had spent so much time throwing those punches and combinations. And then we talked about the Joy Mays character, and it was like it's easy to play Slime. It's easy to play like the Don piece, like
right.
If you want to use that as an example. And he's not even as bad as people portray him at points. The
Really?
sport conditions fighters to want all the money, like all of it. Like you could look at Mike and tell he ain't the kind of person that would let you
It's all or nothing.
just take his money from him. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, you know, boxing is the sport where the lions are actually afraid of the mice.
Yeah.
And it's because in between time, nobody tells the fighters what to do. After they've made the money, they go off and do whatever they want, however they want. And then when they come back, it's like the lion is kind of approaching the mice in a different way because this is where I get my food.
I got you.
You know, and it's been a interesting piece for me because I've been able to utilize look, my involvement in the sport of boxing really comes through my relationship with Floyd.
Right.
And with the place that I was able to use all the information and everything that I've experienced in that time period was in this film project.
So talk about that a little bit. I mean, obviously your experiences, your life experiences are coming across in your music, and now they're coming across in your acting.
Yeah.
What was the tipping point when you just knew, like, you know, I think I want to do this acting thing for real?
For me, it's like I wanted to do it, but I couldn't sacrifice what I was doing in music
Right.
in the other areas. So because Hollywood is hurry up and wait, you know, hurry up, get good enough, now wait for somebody to offer you the opportunity.
Yeah.
I went towards the financing part. That way I can confirm when the project is going to be greenlit, and I know it starts on the date we said it starts. And I kind of followed Avi Lerner's model. You know, so I took Randall Limit from Avi, and we created Cheetah Vision, and I raised $200 million. We broke it into 10 pictures.
Wow.
Sold Lionsgate the domestic rights, and then we
Yeah.
sold the international territory. So all the other projects, I viewed it like, let me develop it. Like Power, we made it from scratch, like me and Courtney, and it's me meeting Mark Canton early and saying I want to make something where the music speaks for characters like Superfly.
Yeah. I want to talk to you about that. You mentioned power. You mentioned Hollywood and finances. You know, what have you had to do? What studying have you had to do? Because obviously, you know, everybody knows that you're smart, you're a witty guy. I feel like that you kind of look at new challenges, like what can I conquer next? So when it comes to power and just where Hollywood is right now, like what kind of studying do you have to do? You say you spoke with Ari, but like what else did you do to kind of prepare for this?
I've always asked people about their bad experiences. For some reason, they'll offer you more detail. You know, I think it's internally their connection to the painful portion of it.
Yeah.
That allows them to explain with detail. They'll get back and they'll go all the way through it for you, and then they'll give you the game. They'll give you a blueprint of what not to do.
Right.
Consistently, you know. And what I've been able to do is look at the things that are like. There's only one person that they say presents. Like Tyler Perry presents. There's
Right.
different styles, there's different genres of people. Like Lionsgate decided to commit to Tyler Perry's projects and
Right.
continue to do things because he offered a different approach. Like he came in with material that he developed in a different platform
Yeah.
that they, you know, said we can sell this.
Right, it worked. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, your mentality is very much that of a champion. You know, you kind of take on just your businesses with the heart of wanting to conquer and achieve it. So when it comes to just that mindset of being a champion, it's like, why is it important for you to maintain that championship mentality?
You know what you're saying is what I developed, and it's why I'm successful. It's because a lot of times you got to figure out how to be confident in yourself with not a lot around to support it, because it's just your idea. And when you can truly believe in it, that passion, you find one person at a time that'll support it. You know, but like Courtney would say, Courtney Kemp is the writer and showrunner for Power. She'd tell you that I'm a little weird because she said, he told me this project was going to be exactly what it is right now.
Wow.
And this is why when I say, oh, Courtney, I don't really know why is this happening in the show? When I'm reading pages, she'll explain it because she'll go, well, we thought like this. She doesn't have to because she's the writer and showrunner. But she'll explain it because she'll go, no, because you told me that this was going to happen and it happened the way it is. So if you're saying that it's a problem, let me look at it from a different angle to see why is it that way. And then I'm like, it may be points that they lean towards characters making statements that are alternative lifestyle friendly. And I'll go like, who he is, why would he be saying that?
Right.
You know, and she'll go, you're right, take that out of there. Do this like this, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it just...
She trusts you.
Yeah.
She trusts your brand. I mean, when it comes to just the brand that you've established, you know, why is it so trustworthy when it comes to just the street cred? Like, what do you attribute just people trust you, you know, when it comes to who you are? Like, what do you attribute that to?
I think I don't have time. I don't have time to bullshit them. Like, you know, like my energy it's about winning, man. It's just, when I say that I have developed a fearless approach, it's the truth. You know, it's genuinely, I thought the way that I'd offer something that was special, that was different, was by offering a little bit of me. Because I may be able to beat you at something, but I can't beat you at being you.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And once that becomes the cool factor, because you're cool now, I gotta just work around you because you are cool, like at that point. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when I watch things now, it's trending so hard. Like when I fell in love with hip-hop music, it was so important for you to be different that you go, oh, that was dope. Now you still writing something that feels completely different from what that person just did that was dope, because when yours come through, if it's the same, it feels like it's cool.
Yeah, it's not.
It kind of bang. It's the same type of joint, but if it's the next thing that happens in our culture, they go, yo, like you know, you knock them over because Get Rich or Die Trying didn't have energy that matched those other projects launched before it. They were able to embrace it, and it was able to be recognized as a classic. They don't even talk about the second one, and it sold 10 million records. You know what I mean? Like, it's just...
Well, how do you feel about that, man? Because obviously, you know, every rapper has had a favorite rapper, and they're coming after them, and you're struggling to develop your own identity. But it's also a kind of a fine line because it's flattering to the other rapper. And there's an individual kid, you know, who in a lot of ways sounds like you, but you've come to kind of embrace his sound. So talk a little bit about that and just the walking that line of, you know.
For me, look, when I hear artists that have similar styles, I don't turn my nose up at them. You know, I think it's saying that the material that you created was impressionable. And that when they're not copying, when they're doing it from their perspective and it's their energy connected to it, I like it. I do, because I feel like it's going to continue to live. The style will grow and go on, you know. And if we viewed it, like how many times have you heard of Biggie? A version of Biggie, like, or Jay-Z sound like a guy who kind of has that similar energy. And it's because it wasn't based on sales, it was based on passion. Like the person liked that so much that they went and did it. If that's the case, everybody should be Eminem, because he's selling like 80 million records more than those people, you know. And it's just their favorite artists. If their vocal tones match, if they cadences, they learn it from listening over and over and doing it over and over. Yeah, you know, I don't turn away from it if they have the same thing. That's like if I see someone that is a true entrepreneur, I go, I need to get with him. Why? He gonna win.
No doubt. And that's crazy, because I mean, you yourself, obviously multi-millionaire, but you're still looking at that next entrepreneur with the next best idea. So for you, like, why is it important for you to identify what the next trending topic or the next big business is? Like,
that's how you sustain success. Anything that, I don't care how much it is and where it'll be going. And lifestyle, if you're just sitting there, you know. And I don't need, personally, I learned more about myself, you know, throughout my journey, and I need to feel the gratification connected to winning repeatedly.
Wow.
Like one big win, pow, and it's there, and then you go, what am I gonna do tomorrow? You know what I'm saying? Like, it does create the stability that allows me to invest and do different things in different areas, but it doesn't take away what I need to feel when it works.
Yeah, so I mean, it's addicting.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit. I mean, just the success factor and what it feels like to not be able to wake up every day and know that you're on to something big. Like, what drives you, you know, on a daily basis?
You know what, I think for me it's like, I don't really, like I said, I don't really associate myself or work on projects that I don't believe are really the right projects. And then once I get into it, I kind of like, it's a lot of the noise stops. Like, it's just that me focused on that, and I'll see myself at the end of the race, winning the race already. You know, so it's like, that's where all the confusion. Think about how you'd feel about yourself if you looked at your social networking, and the people that would just randomly say things to you that would you put up a picture of your kids. He says, "Oh, this is the ugliest kid I've ever seen in my life." You put up anything that you do, they got something to say to you know, just to randomly, just because.
Right, yeah.
This is the place I can say it and not get punched in the eye because he's not right in front of me. You know, and that guy sits there and takes advantage of it and says anything and everything they can to you, and you go, you learn that their representation of the fight, their representation of the game. See, whether there's a winner or a loser, those guys both are in the game. And they're being paid. You see at the end of the playoffs, you see the championship, you see them put the sad face of LeBron. LeBron James, sad face, and really enjoy him not winning the series. But the game is representation and the television is representation. How many people are in the game?
Right.
Whether they win or they lose, they're being paid. How many people are watching in the stands? That's representation of the world. And not only that, but who's watching it from at home? Because it's that many more people that are just watching, you know? And whether I win or lose at different points, you got to see me in the game. Because I got to be that much. I got to matter that much at least.
Absolutely.
You know? So,
I mean, let's talk a little about just the whole American success factor, because obviously you capitalized on the whole capitalist idea of just starting from the bottom, from nothing literally, and, you know, working your way to where you are today. Like, what steps did you take to get there, and who kind of inspired you? What businessman inspired you, kind of like looking at how you want to present yourself in front of the world?
When you come from the bottom, you look at it, and money seems like the answer to everything. You know, and it's not till you acquire it that you look and you say there's always no obstacles. And you're not humbled until you find yourself in a situation where you go, I don't have control. You know, like with the finances, she still does things that you can't control. The girl, your relationship is still out of control. And there's still, no matter how much you've done for people, they still have the sense of entitlement that you can't meet.
Right.
And it's because their minds are set on what you've made versus what you've given them. So they're saying, well, you made this much, so why you? I mean, yeah, it was nice that you got me a car, but you could have got me, man,
a PJ.
Yeah, like you bought me the projects, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you go, but then nobody's ever done anything for me for nothing.
No doubt.
You know, so I don't even understand how they can embrace those concepts.
No doubt. You know, somebody said recently in an article, they compared you to Donald Trump because he's had so much success.
Yeah.
And, you know, he has so many businesses. Like, what are your thoughts about just Donald Trump, his success, the ups, the downs, and just where
I think, look, Donald Trump is a brand that won't go away. You know, he's the kind of guy that can, diversify in order to do those things. You can't stay in one pocket and expect people to understand or to do things the right way, you know. And I've done that pretty well, so I don't feel like any one thing will get rid of me. You see what I'm saying? And then they also don't understand what strategic tactics you have to use to not be victimized by the system. You see what I'm saying? And I'll do it.
Can you elaborate on that? Like,
yeah, well, they'll look at certain portions as you become successful and it's publicly noted. You're going to have a bullseye on you, your target. And then when you get there, if you're not doing asset protection at different points, then you're going to find yourself in situations where you go, so you seriously, personally, I don't earn a lot. You know, my companies do pretty good. You know, so when it comes to the point that these situations get like this, I mean, I got to file.
Well said.
Because I'm not going to give people what I worked for. They're going to have to work for it too.
Hey, you got to respect that. For real. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.